Brenda Mallory froze halfway through my hallway, clutching her HOA clipboard like it could stop 75 pounds of trained German shepherd currently stalking toward her. "Good dog," she stammered, backing up until her heel caught my rug. Ghost, my retired K-9, didn't bark. He didn't growl. He did the much worse thing. He assessed her with his head low, ears forward, eyes narrowed in that cold, professional way I'd seen 100 times on raids. Brenda tried for a smile. "I'm with thee," she started to say. Ghost lunged. Not to bite, just to pin her. One paw slammed onto her clipboard, the other planted right beside her knee. She shrieked, the metal master key ring she'd used to let herself into my house clattering to the floor. I stepped out from the kitchen doorway with my coffee, badge hanging from my gym shorts by habit, and said, very calmly, "Brenda, you have exactly 5 seconds to explain why my retired K-9 just apprehended the president of the Cedar Falls Estates Homeowners Association inside my locked house." "My name is Noah Mercer. I'm 36, a quiet guy who works nights as a K-9 handler for the county sheriff's office. When I'm off duty, I like 3 things: silence, coffee, and pretending the world doesn't exist." Cedar Falls Estates did not share that vision. Our HOA president, Brenda Mallory, looked like she'd been born clutching a 3-ring binder. She had the haircut. She had the visor. She had the permanent expression of someone who considered dandelions a personal attack. I bought my place at the far end of the cul-de-sac specifically because the listing said very private, backs up to woods, minimal foot traffic. Then I met Brenda. "Mr. Mercer," she chirped the first day, appearing at my door before the moving truck had even left, "I just wanted to welcome you to Cedar Falls Estates. We are a community here. We have standards." Ghost watched her from behind me with the same expression he gave dangerous suspects. I should have taken that as an omen. The first month was quiet. I worked nights, slept days, took Ghost on long walks in the woods. I followed the rules. Lawn cut. Trash cans hidden. No visible tattoos. Fine. Then Brenda discovered 2 things. I was law enforcement, and my dog was a retired police K-9. And suddenly, I wasn't a neighbor. I was a threat to the aesthetic harmony of Cedar Falls Estates. It started petty. I got a violation notice because my patrol SUV, off-duty, parked in my own driveway, was intimidating and disruptive to community ambience. Another because Ghost's bark carried an aggressive timbre not in keeping with the neighborhood's tranquil soundscape. Then there were the photos. Printed color photos in my mailbox of Ghost sitting at the bay window, me taking out the trash at 11:15 p.m., my brother's truck parked overnight during a visit. Each one paperclipped to some line from the HOA bylaws, highlighted in neon like a ransom note. At the next HOA meeting, my first and last, I tried to be polite. "Brenda, I work nights. That's why my lights are on at odd hours," I said. "Ghost's retired. He's not patrolling the fence line with a weapon. He's literally sleeping 12 hours a day." Brenda straightened the stack of papers in front of her like a judge about to deliver a sentence. "We have standards, Noah," she said firmly. "Patrol vehicles make people think there's crime. And having a trained attack animal in a family neighborhood is not the image we strive for." "He's not an attack animal," I said. "He's a working dog. Also, several neighbors have pit bulls." She sniffed. "Yes, but theirs don't come with tactical leashes." Rumors started. Kids weren't allowed to walk past my house because the cop dog might get loose. Next door threads popped up. Should law enforcement vehicles be visible, accompanied by grainy zoomed-in photos of my driveway clearly taken from behind hedges. I installed cameras. Brenda's response? Another violation letter. Visible security devices convey a sense of danger. Please remove and rely on the safety provided by our gated community. I laughed when I read it. Ghost didn't. He stared at the front door, ears pricked, like he'd already decided who the danger was. The real escalation came 2 weeks later, when I noticed the first thing that truly rattled me. My back gate, secured with a combination lock, was open. I reviewed the footage that night before shift. The side camera had caught a shape. Visor, clipboard, aggressively determined posture. Brenda. In my fenced yard. Testing the lock on my gate. I forwarded the clip to my own email, then saved it to a thumb drive. Habit. The next day, a final notice of non-compliance arrived. Violations listed: unapproved security lighting, that's my motion sensor, non-regulation fencing modification. I had repaired a board in a slightly different shade, harboring of a dangerous animal. Ghost was spelled Ghoast, which bothered me more than it should have. Attached was a line that made my cop senses light up. Failure to comply will result in further action, including property inspections as authorized under Section 14 of the HOA covenants. Property inspections. I dug out the actual covenants. Section 14 mentioned exterior inspections with advance notice and written consent. No interior access. Ever. So when I came home one morning and found my front deadbolt gritty, like a key had been forced in lately, I knew. I switched angles on the footage, cycling through cameras until I hit pay dirt, Brenda on my porch at 10 a.m., when she assumed I'd be asleep from night shift. She tried my doorknob. No luck. Then she pulled out a jangling ring of keys, master keys, the kind maintenance uses on shared properties. She picked through them like she was choosing a favorite pen. The video ended as the door started to crack open. My stomach went cold. I changed my schedule that week. Called out one night, swapped a shift. And on Thursday morning, I made sure Ghost and I were both home, quiet, with all interior locks undone but one small change. The chain lock was on. And Ghost had heard that key turn once before. Brenda eased the door open like she'd done it before. The chain caught. She paused, then craned her neck inside. That's when Ghost rose from behind the entryway bench like a demon summoned by the sound of brass. He moved silently, placing himself between me, standing in the hallway with my phone in hand, and the trespasser. Brenda's eyes widened. Oh, Noah. Hello. I was just, checking for gas leaks. We had a report of, she stammered nervously. Ghost, watch, I said. His entire body went still, muscles coiled. His training phrase, watch, meant fix, monitor, do not let them move. Brenda froze with one New Balance sneaker still outside on the porch. I hit record on my phone. Just so we're clear, I said, you used a master key to open my door without consent. Again. Her face drained. I am authorized under Section 14, she started to say. I read Section 14, I said. Exterior only. And you're not maintenance. Also, this is a single-family residence. There's no legal basis for you having a master key to my home at all. Ghost shifted closer. Not aggressive, just reminding her he existed. She flinched and let the keyring slip from her fingers. It clanged onto my floor. Pick up your keys, step inside, Brenda, I said calmly. She blinked. Inside? She asked in disbelief. Inside. Because right now you're halfway on my property. Once you're in, this is an unambiguous residential burglary. That camera, I pointed to the one angled down the entryway, is getting all of this. She tried to smile. Noah, let's not be dramatic, she said with a forced cheerfulness. Great idea, I said. Ghost, down. Ghost lay in a perfect sphinx position across the doorway, effectively blocking retreat. I dialed. Hi, yeah, this is Deputy Mercer. I'd like to report a residential B&E in progress. Suspect is currently detained. Brenda made a strangled noise. Detained. She shrieked. I turned the screen so she could see I dialed the non-emergency line. Don't worry. I'm being neighborly. When the patrol car rolled up, half the cul-de-sac peeked from their windows. HOA drama plus flashing lights? It was basically the Super Bowl. Deputy Castillo stepped out, took one look at Ghost blocking the doorway and Brenda half inside, and just said, oh boy. I replayed the porch footage I'd archived, Brenda testing my gate, loitering at my door, using her HOA master key to let herself in. Then I played that morning's recording of her easing my door open and stepping inside. Brenda tried to interject. As president of the Cedar Falls Estates HOA, I am obligated to ensure compliance with, she said indignantly. Castillo held up a hand. Ma'am, nothing in HOA bylaws overrides state criminal code. You can't enter a locked residence with a key your organization shouldn't even have. That's when my next little surprise arrived. The property management company's regional manager, Tara Lou, parking like she'd broken several speed limits to get there. I had emailed her the day before with clips and a short, polite note containing words like liability and unlawful entry. Tara took one look at the master key ring on my floor and went pale. "Those are not supposed to exist," she hissed at Brenda. "We discontinued internal master keys 3 years ago." "Well, someone had to maintain standards," Brenda snapped. "Noah's dog is a menace. His vehicle scares people. He has surveillance cameras, Tara. This isn't a prison." "You broke into a sheriff's deputy's house to complain about his dog?" Castillo said, incredulous. I let them talk over each other while Ghost calmly yawned on the tile. Then Tara said the words I'd been waiting for. "Mr. Mercer, I want to be clear. Neither I nor the management company authorized any interior inspections, much less key access. We will fully cooperate if you want to press charges." Every set of blinds on the street lifted just a bit higher. Brenda turned on me like I'd betrayed her. "Noah, be reasonable. This will reflect badly on the community. On all of us," she said with desperation in her voice. "I'm recording," I reminded her. "Please rephrase that as I am asking you not to report my crime because it's inconvenient." Castillo tried not to smile. In the end, I didn't cuff her. Ghost remained the only one who detained her. But Castillo did write up the report, log the footage, and politely but very audibly read her the potential charges. Criminal trespass, unlawful entry, possible burglary depending on intent. The real punishment started when Tara spoke again. "Effective immediately, Brenda, you are suspended as HOA president pending an emergency board vote. Please turn over all association property, including any other illegal keys." "You can't do that," she shrieked. "You used a black market master key to break into a cop's house," Tara said. "I can absolutely do that." The county prosecutor was very interested in a case involving unauthorized master keys floating around a gated community. Within 2 weeks, Brenda was formally charged with criminal trespass in the first degree, a Class D felony carrying up to 7 years in prison and fines up to $5,000. She was also hit with unlawful entry charges and faced a civil lawsuit from the property management company over liability exposure. When the judge handed down the sentence, Brenda received 3 years probation, $2,000 in fines, and a permanent restraining order preventing her from coming within 200 feet of my property. Her face went completely white as the bailiff read the terms. She opened her mouth to protest, but no sound came out. Ghost, sitting calmly beside me in the courtroom, tilted his head as if to say, "Told you so."